Good evening. Welcome to Over 55 WTF Now. My name is Tony Sincana, and what a show we got planned today. What happened to the old family sub shops? You know, the one that used to be in your neighborhood? Where'd they go? How do we bring them back? I miss those days. I miss them so much. Today, I don't like these corporate sandwich chains. You got to go to the app. You got to measure everything out. Every sandwich is exactly the same. You got to have reward points, and you're trying to get those reward points. So what? You get a free Coke. You get some chips. And they also have customer experience managers. What the heck is that? You grow up, you want to make it big, you go to college, and you become the custom experience manager at Jersey Mike's. Who would have thought? Not me. Not me at all. Welcome to Over 55 WTF Now. My name's Tony Sincata, and let's get into it. I love the old places, the places that have been there 60 years. They got the same sign. The paint is fading. A letter fell off. Same counter. Same family. You remember when that kid was 2 years old and he's running around? He's probably on a leash in the sub shop. No, us old school people, we didn't put our kids on leashes. Did we? I didn't. I didn't. I think they only got lost once. You got the same guy slicing the meat like he had unresolved issues, and that salami he was going to take it out on. That was the real business. That was the day when sub shops were at their peak. Back then, places got handed down from generation to generation. All you people out there, remember in Waltham, Massachusetts, Fulcinetti's, right, was the happening spot. You'd go there and get your chicken palm at Fulcinetti's. Then Lena's Sub Shop was also one of them. Father to son, son to grandson. Nobody in that family had an MBA from any college. Nobody had a marketing team. There were no human resources at these sub shops. No, no, no. They didn't even have a customer service department. No brand consultant, just relatives that were coming in and working the sandwiches. That was the way it was. That was the way when subs were at their greatest, the greatest time in American sandwich history. I mean, you'd walk in to any of these places. There was no fake smile. There's no welcome to Moe's. No, there's no welcome at all. There was no thanks for choosing us today. Come on. No. The guy behind the counter would just look up and yell, "Yo, what do you want?" And somehow that felt more sincere than anything you hear today. At least he was honest. You knew you were bothering him. You knew he wanted to go for a little smoke break and get some Camels or a Marlboro outside in the back. But you walked in. Then there was no measuring cups, right? I love that. There ain't no measuring cups at Fulcinetti's back in the day. Now, every chain that you go to has the stuff already measured out. They measure, they weigh everything. 3 slices of turkey, 4 onions, 1 line of mustard. I ordered lunch, not a chemistry set. I mean, what the heck is going on? Just fire that meat in there. Fire that sauce on there. Get the mustard out. Go bam. The old shops didn't measure. They attacked the bread. We had meat flying everywhere, cheese sliding, oil poured on there like there was no consequences, no healthy decisions. That sandwich had a damn personality. And that's what we loved. That's what we would look forward to every day at lunch break, every single day. And I remember some of those old places having pictures on the wall. The wall would tell a story. There would be old photos everywhere. No stock images, no smiling models. No, 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 no. Not some clown in makeup with giant shoes holding a combo meal. No, there was none of that. These walls had characters, guys who looked like they knew things, guys who maybe did some time, probably, maybe. You never know, and you can't talk about it. And before whatever happened later, they had a meatball sub one time at the same place that you're having a meatball sub. That's history. That's atmosphere. Sometimes it was messy. It wasn't perfect. No, it wasn't the perfectly shaped sandwich with the meat that fit inside everything, the sauce that never dripped. No, that's not what we're talking about here. We're seeking something we love, something passionate, something that we can tell our kids about. Not perfection, not perfection. Sometimes the cheese was a little slimy. Sometimes the sandwich leaked through the paper before you got to the car. Sometimes the bread was so hard it could settle arguments. But it was real. Every sandwich had a mystery. Every visit had a tension. That's flavor. I remember when I grew up near a place called Izzy's Sub Shop. Now, I never knew how Izzy's Sub Shop ever passed a health violation. I mean, I'm pretty sure people were getting high in the back, but I love their steak teriyaki. It was slimy, but it was very tasteful, and you'd get a lot of teriyaki. Mm-mm-mm. One of those things. We didn't have combo meals. There was no combo number one. There was no upgrade for $2.99. There was no large drinks with reward points. But if they liked you, there was a real loyalty program. Hey, kid, we'll see you next week, the guy behind the counter would say. And then he'd launch a bag of chips at you from behind the counter. And when I say launch, I mean launch. Sometimes overhand, sometimes underhand. Depends on how close your mother was. No warning, just faith. Just faith that if you caught those chips, you'd feel like royalty. You didn't want to embarrass your family, so you had to catch the chips. You had to reach out and hold those chips like it was the fourth quarter and it was Thanksgiving morning and your high school football championship was on the line. But now they're online with Wise potato chips. You can't embarrass your family. You represented your bloodline with dignity. If those chips hit the floor, it'd be a long, long ride home. They were never fancy chips either. There was no sour cream and onion. There's no kettle cooked Himalayan sea salt chips. No artesian black pepper drizzle. No, just chips. Plain chips. But when they were free, those were championship chips. And remember, back in the day, we live in a time now where certain places don't accept cash. Makes no sense whatsoever. Back then, if you paid cash, you got a different level of respect. Maybe even a wink. You'd get a nod. Like, hey, you understand how the world works. There were no apps, no QR codes, no phone number, no survey. Just cash and eye contact and lunch. That's the way it was. Now you walk into a modern place. What do? You order, they take their little iPad cash register and they flip it around, touch screen, and the first thing is a tip prompt. A tip prompt? Uncle Guido at Fulcinetti's never got tipped on his life. He would get a bottle maybe on Christmas from his best customers, maybe a recipe that he didn't want from somebody. Now, we got people that want tips for everything. Rewards account, music's too loud, someone asking your name. You don't need my name. You don't need my name. I just want a meatball sub. We're making an Italian sub, not naming a yacht. Why do you need my name? Maybe that's what we miss. Not just the food. We miss the rough edges, the personality on the people, the feeling that nobody ran the sandwich through legal approval. Sometimes a loud guy with sauce on the apron making an unbelievable sub was enough for us back in the day. Give me that old family sub shop, the faded menu, the loud, obnoxious owner, the mysterious phone in the back where they had to answer and write down your order, or the crazy photo on a wall of a guy you saw with a racketeering trial going on 6 months later, the free chip test. Maybe it wasn't polished, but it was honest, and honest tastes better, so much better. What old school food place do you miss most? Knock it down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe, you like the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, leave it in there. If you got a little 30-second clip of this podcast, and subscribe over on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. It's Tony Sincata. It's over 55 WTF Now. Give me some love. Give me a like. And make sure you listen to the rest of the shows. We're about 20 shows in. If this is your first time, welcome.